I'm super excited to be here. Not a lot of people talk about the biggest mistakes to avoid. And so I'm excited to be just shedding a light on what's going on. So let me know if you can see my screen. It's all good. Just a thumbs up, just so I can make sure everyone can see it. Can you guys see my screen? It's all good, Tatiana? Okay, excellent. Okay. So we're going to share the biggest mistakes to avoid, as well as how to avoid them. What are the solutions? So I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to share a bit about them. Let's get started. So do let me know in the chat. I already know what you guys do because I was just there earlier with Jenny. But let me know, what do you use LinkedIn for? How often are you using it other than creating content? Like, how are you actually using LinkedIn in your business? And how do you feel about it? I know it's the end of the day, and like maybe this is the last session, you're probably torn down, but we want to keep things engaging because this workshop is for you. So do let me know, how do you currently feel about LinkedIn? How often are you using it? And what are you currently using it for? So starting my business, finding a job. I created an account, nothing, to promote upcoming events. Great. All right. I see a lot of coaches out here, consultants. So building my network, sharing resources, and to monetize. Okay, excellent. So the big summary is LinkedIn is an amazing platform. That's not a social media network. It's not a platform, a social media platform. It's actually a business network, and I will share a bit more about that. And you monetize by growing your network. So when you grow your network, you grow your net worth, right? And then that's when people start coming to you from referrals. They come to you from your content. They come to you from outbound, which is you actually finding potential client, finding potential businesses, and actually building a relationship with them. Tapping into what Scott was saying earlier, it's really about building genuine relationships, because at the end of the day, the people that you're connecting with on LinkedIn are people. They're really people at the end of the day. So I want you to see them as people, instead of just thinking like, okay, I need to just connect to people who are in my industry or potential clients and give them a sales call or just create content every single day. No, when you shift your perspective about how you perceive LinkedIn, which is basically to grow your network, which then grows your net worth, and that you should be out there building relationships with them. This will really help you show up on LinkedIn feeling excited to show up, because you know you're actually connecting with the real people. All right. So this was just like an introduction on how we should be perceiving LinkedIn. It's really not a sexy platform. It's the most unsexiest platform I've ever seen. And when I was starting my business as a business consultant 3 years ago, almost 4 now, I'm like, why the hell will I use LinkedIn? This is like, isn't this when I look for jobs? But when I learned about it, completely changed everything for me, right? Like, this is, most of my clients actually come from LinkedIn, and I will hopefully share with you some tips on how to shift your perspective about LinkedIn, some mistakes to avoid, and how to start actually using it slowly, but like actually enjoy using it, right? Like, I'm going to turn this unsexy platform into a sexy platform, right? So let's get started. Okay, so what are we going to learn today? The biggest mistakes that you might be making on LinkedIn and how to avoid them. The key differences that puts LinkedIn ahead of other platforms like Facebook and Instagram, and how you can use it to actually get clients much, much faster. How to use, so I'm going to give you an action plan on how to use LinkedIn to grow your personal brand as a business owner, as a business founder, how to attract clients, how to get promotions, and how to grow your network, i.e. your net worth. The value added when you actually optimize your LinkedIn profile. And we're going to share with you at the end my LinkedIn free guide on how to optimize your LinkedIn, which actually attracts clients so much faster than any other tool out there. Like, there are social media and content and ads, but those are costly and time consuming. LinkedIn is by far the fastest way to attract clients starting from tomorrow. And I'm going to give you some examples of how my clients actually optimize their LinkedIn profiles and how it's helped them to attract high ticket clients. Okay, so let me know if this sounds familiar, or, you know, you've been through this. You might not be sure how to use LinkedIn to attract clients, right? So this is why you're here. You can't keep up with all the new trends and all the new added features and all the different platforms out there in marketing, right? So you're like completely confused, like what should I do to attract clients? How should I promote my business, right? Like LinkedIn is one of them. Maybe this is why you're here today. So you can't keep up with this, so you're feeling frustrated. You maybe probably hired social media managers or agencies before that really wasted your time and money. I'm really, really against, and maybe Jenny would back me up here maybe later, is, because she's gone now taking a break, is that you really can't hire agencies or social media managers in the early stages of your business if you don't actually really understand the business foundations of your business. You actually know your target audience. You actually created content just like they were both teaching you. And then you will be at a stage where you're making consistent income, really understand your target audience. Then you have a system, then you can hire an agency to replicate that system using your strategies, right? So a lot of business owners, especially early ones, they just immediately go to an agency or social media. They get frustrated, no money back, no ROI, and then they blame the agencies. Actually, no, it's the business owner's responsibility, because the agency's goal and role, responsibility is to create content based on your business foundations, the market research, your unique value proposition, your marketing messages, your offers that have been tested, right? So there's a lot to go into it. I'm not going to dwell you in here, but this is just to make you understand that you might be thinking about hiring an agency or someone to help you with LinkedIn, or those ghostwriters out there. I highly don't advise it until you learn the basics of creating content on LinkedIn. And today you had amazing expert teaching you how to do it with ease. And then you can get to that level, all right? Maybe you perhaps spent a lot of time on Instagram trying to figure out how to sign clients on there and make money, right? A lot of business owners actually think Instagram is the main platform to get clients. And this is where we come in as the LinkedIn experts to tell you, no, there's an amazing other platform called LinkedIn, and we're going to teach you how to actually use it to attract clients. This presentation, guys, is mainly tuned for service providers and coaches and business owners, not people trying to get a promotion or a job. But in the personal branding section, I will share some tips about that. My examples will be for the business owners, but you can apply the same tips for your own. I'm just telling you my examples will be specific for them. You probably wasted a lot of hours spending content, leading to zero inquiries and engagement, right? So this is maybe why you're here, because you also wanted to learn from the experts, okay? And something really important to know, guys, is knowledge is only power when you apply it. So now you know what to do. So tomorrow's homework is to actually start applying the work and doing it consistently. And then in 30 days, assessing what worked and didn't work, right? So don't think that you just spent 1 day or 2 days creating 2 content posts. Oh, it failed. No, it didn't. Because you have to learn the strategies and the frameworks. You have to do it consistently and then test it out, see what happened, what didn't work, measure the KPIs, right? So it's normal to feel that way. It's normal to give up early without seeing results, but I'm trying to tell you that we're here to shift your mindset about how you think LinkedIn generates content, right? And LinkedIn generates leads. And you might be here, you might feel, you've been in a situation before where you're completely frustrated and overwhelmed with all the marketing strategies and hacks. You're not even sure how to start using LinkedIn, right? So I'm going to share with you today a specific action plan, step by step, on how to get you started, all right? So who am I to tell you all of this? So my name is Aliyah. I'm originally Lebanese. I'm currently now in Barcelona. I've connected before with Tatiana. We've actually did a full LinkedIn masterclass maybe like a year before. So happy I'm back here to talk to you about the biggest mistakes that you're doing on LinkedIn. So I'm a business and marketing strategist and coach for coaches and service providers with over 14 years of marketing experience. And I work with my clients to build a successful business, making them earn consistent 5K months through sales, business, and marketing strategies. And we do that through one-on-one and through group coaching. So I also teach my clients all about LinkedIn, and how I started my business actually is completely through doing lead generation. And the first platform I was on was actually LinkedIn. So I've been all about LinkedIn since the last 4 years now, and I really love it. All right. So I just want to get you engaged again about LinkedIn. Like, why should you really be listening to all of us experts here? So here's some fun facts about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is 277% more effective for lead generation than any other platform. Like, that's almost 300%. Because it's the main bread and butter of LinkedIn, and how it started is that it's a business networking platform. It's like a Google for businesses. You can find out the CEO and the founder and the VP of any company that you want, location, how big is their company, how much revenue they're doing, the industries they're in, how big is their team. Like, it's really like Google. It's like it's a Google for business directories. It's amazing. And that's why it's the most effective tool for lead generation. And it's a very engaging platform, given that LinkedIn messages have an 85% reply rate on average. That's 3 times regular than email. Email marketing is great when done right. I don't recommend cold emailing at all. But when you connect with someone on LinkedIn and you're starting conversations with them, you will have a higher rate of getting a reply and getting an engagement and potentially getting on a sales call and becoming a client. So just want to turn LinkedIn into a sexy platform again. So I wanted to share these facts with you just to get you excited. And LinkedIn is growing now. Like, LinkedIn has been one of those platforms that's been consistently growing and scaling, did not shift its algorithm or do different shifts. Like, as you can see, Instagram and TikTok now, they're just going head to head. LinkedIn has really been just completely scaling, rising. There has never been any bad PR around them, and they're just, always sharing new features that people actually want. Okay, so what is the added value of LinkedIn, and how is it different than all the other platforms out there, right? The biggest one is the biggest added value. It's a business networking platform, just like I mentioned. It's the sole purpose of this platform is connecting businesses with professionals. Literally, that is what the main purpose of that platform. Let's take an example of Instagram. Instagram was created, let's take Facebook. Facebook was created to connect colleagues, no, not colleagues, people in the same university and campus, connecting them with each other. And then people, when they graduate, they stay connected. So it was all about family and sharing our moments, etc. And then Instagram came, is all about sharing what we're doing today, what we're eating, our dog, etc. And now everyone is just on LinkedIn. Businesses are growing on LinkedIn. And now we use LinkedIn for everything, for news, for sharing our dog's food as well, and starting our businesses and, showing our vacation, right? TikTok is all about being raw, unedited, sharing memes, dancing, right? And all of that. LinkedIn, okay, is mainly for business networking, solely for that. And I respect that about them. They try to add in video and everything, but not making it not mixing it up with unedited raw videos like TikTok. So they're trying to keep it classy, right? So people on LinkedIn are professionals who expect business connections. They want you to send them a message. They want you to connect with them. They want to read your articles. They want you to engage with them. They're expecting it, because LinkedIn's sole purpose is for that. It's for making business together, right? So they expect you to ask them to book a one-on-one call or to jump on a virtual coffee. Who here has ever invited someone for a virtual coffee or has been asked to jump on a virtual coffee, especially during COVID? Let me know, guys, in the chat, who's ever had been invited or actually invited people to that. Let me know. Here, Nelson, great. During COVID, it was the easiest thing to do. It was the fastest way for me to connect with business owners. I just really wanted to get to know people, and people were so disconnected. They're like, let's get to know each other. I'm a business owner in LA and you're a business owner in NY. And I think could be a collaboration. Why don't we jump on a virtual coffee, right? When that happened and COVID accelerated that growth, then it became very normal to have these connection calls. And I highly recommend them. If you don't like sales, you're afraid of sales, you find it salesy, pushy, you don't know how to ask for us to get on a sales call, start with, once you connect with them, I will show you all these steps in a bit. When you connect with them, hey, I'm so glad we're connected here. I'd love to get to meet you and actually have like a virtual coffee. Are you up for that? Let me know if I can share your schedule, or I can share my schedule, and test the waters there. So it's really an easy way to actually connect with people, because remember, the people on LinkedIn are people. They're real people. They're real people that are and that want to engage with you. If you don't cold DM them or send them an email, we're talking about a genuine connection, which I will share with you how to do that, right? Even if they're local, less than a hassle, 1,000%, 1,000%. Okay, so you guys, I'm sure you guys know who Gary Vee is. So LinkedIn marketing is something I really, really believe in. It has completely transformed as a platform. It's no longer a job seeker platform. It's now becoming a content platform. He said this in 2019, just before COVID. And actually through COVID, LinkedIn becoming more known as a content platform. So people are sharing their status updates, articles, interacting with each other within a business and professional context. This is what I was telling you 2 slides before. And because it's still early on, this guys was in 2019, it's the organic reach is insanely high. So in 2019, the people that were creating content was only 1%. I believe, somebody can correct me, I think now it increased to maybe 3 or 5%, because now there's like a flush of new service providers, LinkedIn, ghostwriters, all these commenting pods, all these AI tools out there that are just like liking, commenting, like adding people. So there's now like a boost of AI tools being added since then. So probably now content increased to 5%, but still, guys, 5%. And I think the platform is probably exceeded. I don't have that number on me now, but maybe, I don't know, probably millions of people that are on LinkedIn, maybe like 1 billion. I think more than 1 billion. So that's only 5% of that billion commenting on it on LinkedIn. You know how many people comment on create posts on Instagram? On Instagram daily, there are 90 million posts that are posted daily. That's why only 1 to 3% of your followers see your posts on Instagram, because there's 90 million posts being posted every single day. Like, it's just ridiculous, right? That's why the organic reach on LinkedIn is amazing. That's why if you follow Jenny and Scott's advice on content and you're consistent, you can actually get organic viral posts going on. You can get more engagement going on if you're actually very consistent, and as long as it's really important for your business, right? So that's the most important thing. There is 830 million LinkedIn members. Actually, I was close to 1 billion, but thank you for that. I should know that. I will answer your questions too about AI later. That's a great question. All right. So let's play a quick game so I make sure everybody's up and running. What do you believe are some mistakes you might be doing on LinkedIn? Just let me know real quick in the chat. What are some mistakes you might be doing? Oops. Not sending enough DMs, not consistent, not engaging, not doing it. Tatiana, you're so funny. Not consistent, not posting enough. Yes. Also, it's important, guys, not consistent and not posting enough. Just like Jenny was saying, and also Scott, it's not about quality, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. I would rather that you create, and I've learned this from my own mistakes. Yeah, like I have a team that helps me create. So sometimes I'm like, we have low engagement. Let's just bust out 2 content posts per day. And we see like that doesn't do well. So then I'm like, you know what, do something else. Now I'm going to dedicate a week to create good content for my team, because really the best person to create content is you guys, especially when it's about storytelling. Like now the biggest trend in marketing is storytelling. Storytelling is one of the oldest ancient frameworks we have in our lives. Since Pharaoh times, people creating those, what are they called? The artwork. Guys, it's 9 p.m. so I can't think straight. You know, like the art since prehistoric time, when they were sharing their stories around the fire, your mom telling you stories, Steve Jobs telling us stories, right? Like we are sold by stories. So who's gonna be a better person to write a story other than you, right? So it's very important that it's not about posting consistently and it's about not posting enough. It's about being consistent, but quality work, right? I don't want you just to be like, okay, I need to post 1 post every single day. No, I'd rather you take time with 1 nice long quality post and then do that maybe 2 times a week, then get better. You get better at it 3 times a week, right? So that's important. Cave paintings, yeah, but there's another term for it, but okay. Not having a system to keep track of the difference of interests and abilities of our, yes, it's not tracking your leads is a big mistake, but that should be applied for all platforms. You should definitely have a CRM system or a simple Excel sheet. Not having a good profile photo. Yeah, I'd rather, a big mistake is not having an optimized LinkedIn profile, a LinkedIn profile as a whole. The picture can be like, you can have a white wall, guys, with a ring light, just like the thing on my face right now. Timer, boom, put it on Canva, or take a nice picture with the light, put it on Canva, remove the background, contrasts, you're good to go. But it's the profile that matters. Okay, let's get moving. But I'm glad we have some mistakes here, and let's talk about the big ones and how to overcome them. Okay, so biggest mistakes to avoid making on LinkedIn: having a dusty old job seeker profile, just like Gary Vee was saying, my friend, my buddy over there. It's no longer just a job profile, just the job seeker profile. If you're a business owner, your LinkedIn, your profile, your personal profile is your sales funnel. It's your one-page website. If you don't have a website, I highly recommend focusing all your energy on optimizing your LinkedIn profile. It's your really bread and butter if you want to make an impact and create connections on LinkedIn. So Scott was talking about LinkedIn profile and LinkedIn business page. You should have both, but because you're connecting with people, when you actually send them a connection or when you comment, they get to see your LinkedIn profile. When they click, who's that person that commented? They see you, it's your personal page. Then when they scroll down, they see the business page. It's like a Facebook page, but it's that business page linked to you. So the main goal is to work on your LinkedIn personal page, because it's how you add people. When you send messages to people to connect with them, it's through that. When you comment on others, so you can engage with them, so they can see who you are, they see that, right? That's the most important thing. When people are searching for you using keywords, like let's say I go online, copywriter in LA, right? And if you have an optimized LinkedIn profile and you have more followers, you have good engagement, you're active on LinkedIn, you start getting ranked on LinkedIn according to different KPIs that they use within their system. But usually it's good keywords, number of followers, you're posting content, people are engaging with it. Maybe you're getting the top voice badge or whatever. And also maybe if you put LA, so that those are using those keywords. So when they search for your service and you show up, they're going to look at what your LinkedIn personal profile. So that's a big mistake. At the end of this session, I'm going to share with you my free guide on the beginner's guide of how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. I give you literally like frameworks, statements on how to use them and how to replace them as well, so that you can optimize your LinkedIn profile. A big mistake I see is only having a network full of old colleagues and friends. So we all used it when we were connecting to recruiters, when we got hired, when we first graduated, great, right? But now we have a business, right? So now I have a new business, I started my business, and I optimized my LinkedIn profile, okay? So now you can't just rely on your current network and friends. Now you have to actually do outbound, which is actually looking for potential clients and start connecting with them, right? So step one, optimize our LinkedIn profile. Step two, look for our ideal clients, right? So this comes in when you do market research. I'm going to give you my own example just to make it easier. Let's say I work with brand designers and website designers. I go on LinkedIn, website designer, location, Dubai, location, New York, right? And there I can put like, how old is their company? How big is their company? Are they the founders or the CEOs or whatever? Then I can find those profiles, and then I send them a connection request with a personalized note. Like, hey, Tatiana, I see that you're a brand designer. I'm actually growing my network of brand designers here in NYC. I'd love to connect with you and collaborate at some point or have a conversation. Then you put your signature like Aliyah and exactly what you do, right? This way, and you're doing this consistently, is how you grow your network of ideal clients, right? So doing that consistently, finding your ideal clients, connecting with them with a personal note, people will appreciate that, right? Anybody that sends me a connection message and I have no idea where they came from, I just ignore. But if they send me like, hey, I came to you from the LinkedIn Summit, I really like what you did, etc., whatever, I accept. Or if they're like trying to pitch me a service, I see it and I'm like, am I interested? No, but maybe later I will be. So if I'm really not interested, I don't see them coming at me. I don't want them coming at me. I ignore, right? That's our right. But if I see a service that I like, that I might be interested in at some point or now, I accept. And that's where the relationship happens from that. That all came from a simple connection request and a personalized note. Like that's how simple it is, all right? A third big mistake I see is actually not having a marketing or sales strategy in place to actually attract and convert, right? So when you have a LinkedIn profile that's optimized, okay, you need to actually start having a sales and marketing strategy in place, right? So now I shared with you one tip on what could be part of that strategy, which is actually connecting with ideal clients, doing the research, etc. But it's not just about that. It's about taking everything that we'll be teaching you here about content, about engagement, about outbound, about LinkedIn business page, etc., putting it all together about LinkedIn and actually combining it with your global business and marketing strategy, putting that together so they can work together, right? So this mistake could be just global, not just for LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, guys, is what I want to tell you is what I want to help you understand is that this is your business and brand, okay? And then you need to have a business and marketing strategy. This is a must, okay? Under that, you will have the platforms that you will use to grow your brand, grow your network, connect with ideal clients, convert them, right? So one could be email marketing, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. One of them is networking, just like you're here, right? So networking is under the global business and marketing strategy. So LinkedIn has to be linked to that business strategy, the business and marketing strategy, which under it comes in like, how are you doing lead generation? What are you doing on sales calls? How are you handling that? What's your marketing strategy for the next 6 months? Who are your ideal clients? How do you stand out? What are your positioning statements? What are your offers? How are they priced in the market, right? So all of this, like I cannot dive deep into that now, but all of this goes under that strategy. So don't think that just working on LinkedIn is just enough to get you clients. It has to merge with your business and marketing strategy, right? This is why sometimes you might not be seeing results also, because maybe you're not good at sales, maybe you don't know how to handle objections, maybe you're not actually doing lead generation, maybe you're not understanding how content marketing comes into play to attract clients, right? So what we're doing today is giving you actually deep dive into each subject, but I just want you to have a general idea that it needs to be connected to your global business and marketing strategy, because I see a lot of business owners making this mistake. So just wanted to focus on that a bit. Okay, another big mistake I see, which someone mentioned, is lack of engagement. This one is lack of engagement with your new connections. Sorry, lack of engagement with new connections. So Aliyah, we started optimizing our profile. We started adding a couple of people in. And that's about it. People accepted, that's it, okay? So it's not that, guys. LinkedIn is going to be used to, like I was saying and Scott was saying, is about building relationships. And that takes time. It's like dating, okay? Let's say you met someone at a party or on these dating apps, right? You asked them out for coffee, they said yes or no, right? So like, did we connect with them on LinkedIn? Yes or no? The ones that ignored you, we don't care about them. We focus on the ones that said yes or swiped right and accepted to have a coffee, right? Or before the coffee. So let's say you stop chatting with that person, right? Like, let's say I'm going to talk about, like, let's say I'm a male asking a girl out. I prefer that. If you don't engage with that person, there's going to be no relationship to be built there, right? Even with friends, let's say you meet someone new and you guys are like, oh my God, we have so many common things, amazing, but none of you are actually engaging with the other. What happens? No relationship, no friendship relationship, no dating relationship, right? Because there's a lack of engagement. You can do engagement in the same way on LinkedIn, which is basically when you connect to someone completely new that you have no idea like, they're just completely new, but they're an ideal client, what you need to be doing is engaging with them, right? Actually, Jenny and I, for example, since the summit, we connected, and me and her have been back and forth asking questions. I signed up to her masterclass, asking her questions. She's asking me questions about my business. What is she doing? She's engaging with me, and I'm engaging back, right? The same thing with Tatiana of how we met. It's engaging. I engage on a daily basis with all my new connections on LinkedIn. I engage also with their content because we want to be top of mind, right? So if you're just adding people and you're not doing anything about it, if you're not like sitting on LinkedIn at least 1 hour a day, people will forget you, right? There's 833 million people out there. So you want to connect with the ideal client and start building relationships. So when the time comes, somebody needs your service as a brand designer, as a copywriter, as a financial coach, as a consultant, who are they going to remember? It's that person that was in their notifications, right? Let me tell you a story about how I hired my copywriter. So he followed me on, we were connected on, not my copywriter, my videographer. We connected on LinkedIn. There's like a lot of like amazing videographers out there. We like connected on LinkedIn. I saw what he's doing, right? Because I'm like the LinkedIn guru. So I know what people are, when they're selling a mile away. I'm like, he's a videographer. He sent me a personalized message. He helps coaches to create videos that sell viral, etc. I'm like, you know what? I don't need this now, but I might later. I accepted. Then what did he start doing? He went to my recent, anytime I post, he's commenting, liking. He sent me a message, thanks for connecting. Great. Every here and there he connects and he engages with me, right? And I have also videographers adding me on Instagram here and there. When the time came, which was after like a month, when the time came to actually hire one, who did I hire? Who came to mind? Him. Because he engaged with me, he added me, I saw what he does. It didn't mean I necessarily hired him immediately, but he's the one I thought of. I went, I checked his work. I'm like, interesting. I asked him a couple of questions, show me your work. I liked it, and boom, he's now my videographer. And now I'm going to refer him to all my clients, right? Just as simple as that, guys. Like, this is really the power of engagement. Did that make sense, guys? Like, did that like give you a bit of motivation on why you should start engaging with people on LinkedIn? Give me a thumbs up in the chat or in the emojis up here. Know that you guys are alive. Hieroglyphs, yeah, hieroglyphs. Thank you, Lori, for this. Amazing. All right. Another big mistake I see is that not adding new connections on a weekly basis or a daily basis as a business owner. This is back to the rule of consistency. It's not about like, I optimized my LinkedIn profile and added a couple of people, but I didn't try high ticket clients, just like Aliyah was saying. Why? That doesn't work like this. There's no such thing as quick wins in life, guys. Like, everything requires patience, consistency, and perseverance. Perseverance when you have the right strategy. So if you're just adding a couple of people here and there, that's it, you will not see results. Guaranteed, you will not see results, or not enough. Making 1,000, 2,000, it's not enough. But I highly recommend you adding connections on a weekly, daily basis. Guys, there's 2 powerful tools on LinkedIn. LinkedIn search bar, which is completely free, and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Who here knows what LinkedIn Sales Navigator is? Let me know yes or no in the chat. Yes or no in the chat. Yes, no, it's a mix. Okay, so LinkedIn Sales Navigator is basically the paid service of LinkedIn, which is an optimized search engine. Basically, it's a sales opportunity tool where you can find how much money like Nike does, like the revenue, how big is their team, and so you can really search the revenue of big companies, but you can also look for the founders or decision makers in small companies anywhere you want in the world on a global level, like even in New York or in LA, like specific areas in LA, like big areas. How big is their team? How long have they been in business? How long they've been on LinkedIn as well, the industries they're in. If you want different decision makers, you can literally type their roles. So that one is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. When you really get serious about LinkedIn to really attract 5-figure consistently, LinkedIn Sales Navigator has 30 days for free. So optimize your LinkedIn profile, get Sales Navigator 30 days for free, and go all the way in to look for your ideal clients. Get that curated, beautiful list. Like I call it laser focused target list. Like it's my 100 ideal clients, just 100 per week list. I can easily get it on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's an amazing tool. Tanya is asking how many connections is it okay to add weekly? So yeah, so that's why I said 100, because they say, so we don't get flagged or removed from LinkedIn, it's safe to send 20 connections daily, 7 times a week. So that makes around, no, 20 times 5, so like 5 times a week, 100. If you've never started using it to connect with ideal clients, you could start with 10, but make sure not to overuse these AI tools. Okay, I don't want to dive deep into it, but if you are going to use like any AI tool to help you with connections, use it at a later stage. There's a lot of AI tools which we'll cover at the end to answer your questions, but you can manually send 10 to 20 a day and you should be fine. Okay, what did I move? Okay, so another big mistake I see is not personalizing the connection request. I've already covered that. Don't just send a request, a connection request. Make sure you personalize that connection request. Like, what is the purpose of connecting with them? Hey, Erin, I just found your profile on here, and I see that you're a personal trainer. I'd actually love to connect with you and see different ways to working together, or referring clients to each other, or starting a conversation, or growing my network. Like there's a lot of different ways you can start a conversation. You can start doing that just by you actually testing and trying different messages till you find a message that really sounds like you, that's a bit genuine. Not a bit, that's actually genuine, that you put yourself in the receiving end. Like, is that a message I would connect with? Like, would that make me add that person? So and really be honest about why you're connecting with them. The easiest one I think of and I use, and it has a high rate, is that I'm growing my network of personal trainers in Dubai, and I'd love for us to connect, maybe somehow collaborate, work together, or refer each other's businesses. And I'm not wrong about that. I'm not lying about that. Sometimes I might refer them clients because maybe I might have someone asking about them. Maybe we collaborate on a LinkedIn audio or on Instagram Live, where we can have the same audience. We could talk about our different topics. Or he might be like, oh, great, I'm actually interested in what you're offering, right? So that's a great way to get started. I'm trying to think if my guide has some messages to get started with, but if you get stuck on the messages, you can always message me. I'm not, I can give you some. A big mistake I also see is sending out in-mail messages. Who here loves getting in-mail messages? Let me know in the chat. Who here also made the mistake of sending that message? It's okay to be guilty. People taught us how to do that. Like actually, LinkedIn gives you 50 in-mail messages. It's like, here, go ahead and message people randomly. So I'm against that. I don't like it. I actually preach every time I get a cold DM, and I tell them this is not the way to actually get me to work with you. Please do not DM me like that. Like, don't cold pitch. So I'm sure nobody likes to be pitched out. Don't like in-mail. I'm not sure how to send in-mail messages, so never realized that. Yeah, Tatiana, you never got an in-mail? I'm sure you got an in-mail. It's when it says like in-mail or sponsored. Like sometimes people pay to send you cold DMs, or they have the credit of 50 messages and they can just send you, hey, do you want to get booked out to 20K per month? Here we are, an appointment setting company. Those guys kill me. And then when you go to their profile, you see that they say they will help you get to 20K organically without cold DMs. You just sent me an in-mail. Like, what the like, sometimes I can't. Totally sent in-mail to recruiters. Yeah, that could work to recruiters. But to me, simply like adding somebody and actually like, hey, yo, I'm actually interested in applying in the companies you work with. Can we have a call? Like, that's how simple to me it can be. But like in-mail, I sit there and preach, like, listen, dude, like, look, did you have a second to look at what I do before you're coming at me, selling me coaching services and lead gen strategies? Like, they're just not a fan. I'm not a fan. That's why make sure you're not sending them. I see a lot of business owners making it, believe me, they're like, hey, I used LinkedIn, but I never got anything. And I used to send so many email. I'm like, yeah, bro, like cold DMs don't work. Like it's 2023, for God's sake, it's 2023, like cold DMs don't work, right? So InMail to me is called messages, which it is. So make sure we're avoiding that. And everything I taught you is actually how to avoid that and what you actually should do about it. A big mistake I see is not having a LinkedIn business page. Sorry, it's not having, what happened? Is not having a LinkedIn business page with your company details and your services and some content. So a lot of people create their LinkedIn profile. Sorry, I hear something weird around. And then when you go down to their experience and you see founder, you don't see a LinkedIn business page. You cannot click and go to their business page. So it's like a Facebook business page. So you can create for free a LinkedIn business page. If you don't have one now, go now. Search LinkedIn business page, you get the link, you set it up, put your logo, you put your services, your portfolio, you repost some content that you created, you put the call to action, like book a free call, or book a consultation, etc. So make sure you have those basics, your portfolio, some case studies, some PDFs on there. Let that LinkedIn business page needs to look professional. It's like putting your whole website on a LinkedIn business page, just so that when somebody sees who you are, then he can see, like when they scroll down to experience, that's the business, and how long they've been in business, and a bit of summary about the business. And you can even attach a PDF of your services and your portfolios. Okay. Another big mistake I see is using commenting pods, which lead to vanity metrics and actually not attracting the right audience. Do you guys know what commenting pods are? Let me know. I love when people tell me networking, meaning they didn't even read what I do. Yeah. So real quick, yeah, a lot of you won't know it, but because like I've been really inside LinkedIn in and out to understand like what's going on. Commenting pods became big like 2 years ago. Basically, it's a group of people with like the same niche or industry that want to support each other. And what they do basically is that they start commenting on each other's posts so that they can increase the number of comments and likes on that post to eventually let it become viral. So what happens is they don't eventually become viral. What happens is that people, when they connect with you and they see there's so many comments and engagement, they think that the content you're creating is actually like, because people sadly are suckers for vanity metrics. Like they're all about like how many views did your reel get and how many likes are you getting on Instagram and how many likes are you getting on LinkedIn. But these vanity metrics don't actually equal sales. I've been studying all the LinkedIn content creators out there. I've even been in a commenting pod. This is why I'm telling you from experience. What happens in a commenting pod is that so me and everybody that does what I do and other coaches like Business Legion would be on the same pod. We would engage with each other's content. Did I get a lead from that? No. You know why? Because these are all looking for leads. But when what I thought would be cool is that when a lead came and saw my profile, he would think that when he saw so many comments and okay, that she's serious, wow, people love her content, etc. Then I realized that no one was actually really looking or reading my content when we were doing that. And actually most of the sale was happening in the DM, right? So now I don't do those commenting pods. I've seen commenting pods. There's now a commenting AI tool, which helps you comment, but not really you. It's the AI that helps you comment. And it's like the same people are commenting on these content creators, and they're just like all not ideal clients. They're all service providers looking for clients, you know. So I don't recommend it. There might be changes now to what commenting pods will do. Maybe they'll be more authentic. There's also a very interesting person on LinkedIn somewhere is figuring out who is using commenting pods, the AI ones and the normal ones, and actually telling people that these guys are not actually creating real viral content and actually selling you like these big content creators are selling you their services on how to create viral content. But what they're doing is actually using commenting pods, which is really like unethical. So this guy is just like blasting out and revealing who are using those commenting pods, because they're really not fair to everyone that's actually just creating content and seeing that, oh my God, I don't have any comments and likes, right? And then they get sucked into those big content creators selling you their content prompt and their proven LinkedIn framework, etc., when they themselves have been using unethical tools, right? So try not to get sucked into those commenting pods, because they don't actually get you leads. Like that's really the main one there. It's okay to get your engagement, just to like push your content. If you're a content creator and not a business owner, two differences there. But if you really want to make money as a business owner, you should use LinkedIn through the strategies that I shared and everyone else today as the speakers, and actually focus on the conversation you're having with your potential leads, right? So that's the most important thing to me, which is like building relationships. So quickly, just how many of these mistakes have you done before? Do let me know in the chat. Some of them you didn't know about, some of them maybe you've done. Tatiana, seems like a lot of work. The commenting pod, yeah, it was really also a waste of time. Like I would spend 1 hour a day commenting on my friends' pods for like, maybe I did it for 2 months. In the end, I just outsourced it to my team. Like I could have spent that 1 hour creating a content post like that actually like resonates with people. Like, well, it's just silly. Anyways, let me know how many mistakes you might have done before, but I hope these mistakes just shed a light to avoid them. So what happens now when you actually optimize your LinkedIn profile? So it becomes a sales magnet. It becomes a sales funnel. It creates an attraction funnel for potential clients, right? So I'm going to show you some results from my client just as an example. Here on the left is a career coach. This was her old LinkedIn profile. Basically, it's about her specialties, her years of experience, who she worked with, and she's talking about herself, like she's aware of cultural differences, etc., and her specialties. This is what happens when she actually optimizes her LinkedIn profile. She has a very clear headline: career and personal development coach, helping executives and managers move their careers forward. Boom, elevator pitch. And then she uses the 2,600 characters on LinkedIn to become her sales page and sales funnel. So when somebody is you're connecting with them, okay, they're gonna look at they're gonna look like, okay, Tanya's connecting with me. Who's Tanya? I click on Tanya. Would you rather see them see this? And they're like, okay, how the hell does Tanya help me? Like, why is she connecting? Who the hell is she? Or they see Tatiana's Tanya, I was calling it, Tatiana's amazing profile, optimize, talking to who she works with, like, how does she help them? Like, is this you? I got you, I can help you. Her past experience and how she helps others. Which one would you rather look at if somebody's connecting with you, right? In this profile, I know exactly what this person does, and I can make a split decision. Do I want to connect with this person or not? Is this something that I might be interested in, right? If not, then okay, no need to connect with them. But here I have questions like who they are, what do they do, how are they going to help me? Remember, guys, people in general are selfish. Their attention span is 0. So when they're going to see your profile, it's a snap decision, right? So they're going to be selfish, like, who's this person? Like, how's she going to help me, right? But here, when we speak to their heart and mind, which is like by really highlighting what are their challenges, what are their goals? Okay, I can help you with that. Here's how I'm going to help you. Boom, 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 boom. Very clear. They no longer need to be, they're no longer confused what Lema or Tatiana does. They have real clarity on what she does, and then they can make that decision. Shall we connect and continue the conversation, right? Guys, my LinkedIn free guide at the end, I will share with you. I'll share with you how to create Lema's profile, okay? So stay till the end, stay for the freebie, and I will answer your questions as well. This is another case study. This was my client's old headline and banner section, which is very important. This is like literally your billboard. This is the split decision. The split decision comes here. Do I accept connecting with David or not? This was his cover page, which is his billboard, and his headline, which is like CEO, managing director. So it's like things about him, not related to me. He helps business transformation through passion and genuine investment in my people. All right, so like, how do you do it? I have no idea. This is what happens after we optimized it. And I will teach you that in the free guide, guys. Clear logo, what he does, business performance coach to small businesses, small, medium businesses, business owners. He's a performance coach for driven SMEs and senior management professions who want significant improvement in their business within 13 weeks, like straight to the point, right? Straight to the point. This is very important. This is really when somebody makes a split decision. They're like, coming here, it's the billboard. Interesting, very clear. I could see what they do, speaks to me, understands me. He's calling me out. When you call someone out, that's when you know, this is someone I might want to work with. Or they work with people like me. So maybe they have something that I might need later on, right? So it's very important that you work on your headline and your cover page, as well as your, of course, your about section. And I will share with you all those tips in the free guide at the end. All right. I don't know what's happening with them. I don't know what that message is, but okay. This was his about page before. So like I said, guys, people are selfish. They really care about them. Like, how do you help me right now, right? So here before, his LinkedIn profile was mostly about him. I am this, I have done this, these are my highlights, here are my core competencies, let's connect. This is seen as a job seeker profile versus seeing it, your about section, versus seeing the about section as a, as a sales funnel or a one-page website. Okay, that's the main difference. We want to go from job seeker profile, talking about me, why you should hire me, to about how can I help you? Like, how can I, as a business performance coach, help you? What is it that you need? This is how I'm going to help you. This is the type of people that I worked with. Like, these are the goals, these are the challenges and the pain points that they had. This is how I can help you. This is my authority and trust, basically my achievements, my expertise, why you should trust me. And this is how we can work together very specifically, like with the methodologies, how we can work together and what you're going to gain from working with me, right? So we're going to get clarity. We're going to implement the processes to build the team, build robust planning, create a system. So it's like the how, the methodologies of how you're going to do it. So it's very clear when somebody wants to connect, if David is sending request messages every single day, which we worked on together, of course, is when they see that, they're like, it's very clear what David does, right? And now I can make a decision. Do I accept to connect with him or ignore? And our main focus is to focus on the people that accept connecting with them and build those relationships. Like I said, it's very important to talk about the relationships. This is the business page section. So this is the business page section. So this is why it's important to have a LinkedIn business page. So before, it was very vague. It wasn't really giving me much information about the business, right? Like, he provides coaching and mentoring, great, okay, but this is what he might use, like analyze client company. Like, he's talking about like the vehicle of how he's going to help them. But I would rather speak their language, right? So I again repeat who I help, calling them out and how I do it. Together, this is what we're going to achieve. Guys, people don't care about, they care about how you help them, but not as important as how are you going to change my life? You're a financial consultant. You're going to help me save for retirement right now so that when I get retirement, I'm not completely broke. And I'm going to be able to buy my $1 million house maybe in 10 years if I start working with a financial coach now, right? I don't care about how you're going to do it by saving on my taxes and my 401k. And I don't care about that. What are you going to actually help me do? I'm going to actually have money so that I can retire my husband, or I can buy my dream house worth $1 million and above in 10 years if I start investing from now, right? That's what people care about, the transformation. not about the details. I don't bore my clients and telling them together we're going to work on market research, how to create content that converts, how to do lead generation and what message. I don't talk about that. I tell my clients, my potential clients, I'm going to take you from low income months to consistent 3K, 5K months in 3 months time through business and marketing strategies or through consultancy. I take you from here to here. And that's how I do it, right? Then in the details and my framework, I share with them when they're interested how we do that, right? It's the transformation. Guys, it's so important. These are like your elements. This is like your property. Like when somebody's on LinkedIn, it's really like a free website where you don't need to do any coding or any design. And you're just plugging in this information. Like LinkedIn gives you the space, like, okay, you need to put a cover page. And I think you should have a headline and you need to fill all the below. Like literally guides you on what to fill. And that becomes your core platform on when somebody wants to talk about your business or refer you to their business, or people are talking about you, or you're inside a summit right now, we can go on your LinkedIn and we're like, okay, let me check them out and see and learn everything about that person and make a decision. Do we want to work with that person? Do we want to connect with them or not? By seeing a beautifully filled profile that connects with your target audience. So I hope that is clear. Yes. Okay. So this was also another example, like she's just a facilitator, an executive leadership coach. So that was very basic and generic. Here, she has that role, but she supports individuals to gain clarity, expand their thinking, uncover potential, and guide them for a more inspired leadership. Guys, this headline is super important. Guys, this is your elevator pitch. You guys, I'm sure you are all familiar with an elevator pitch. That's your elevator pitch. I'm gonna, we have like 20 minutes, right, or less. So, and this is a sneak peek into my client's inbox. What happens when you actually when you optimize your LinkedIn profile and you start connecting with your dream boat high ticket clients, what happens? So my client is sending him this message, and then this guy tells him, it sounds like you wrote that message and that profile for me. When you really truly understand your target audience, when you understand what goes on in their mind and in their hearts, you can really speak their language. You create that LinkedIn profile to literally write it for them. Like this is really like a beautiful evidence and proof when you have an optimized LinkedIn profile. This is what people will be like. They'll be like, wow, I was looking for someone like you, or you're speaking my language. Are you actually inside my head? That's when you know your LinkedIn profile is optimized. And I hope my guide will help you to do that. It will take you 1 time, 2 times as you keep optimizing it, but it's really like the best way to get started. Okay, here's your action plan. I know it's late, maybe I'm going to give you a quick action plan. Take a snippet of it, guys. I'm going to repeat it and then we're going to do Q&A. First thing is update your LinkedIn profile so that it's your personal page to build connections. I highly advise you to add your testimonials, your case studies, your achievements, and the most relevant content post on your LinkedIn profile and share them on your business page. I want you to start connecting with your dream connections, clients, dream jobs, partners. Add those recruiters. You said you want to add a recruiter. Don't send them an email. Connect with them. This recruiter might get you a job now, but maybe it gets you a job later. Like you should want to add recruiters. I have a business. I always add recruiters. You never know when a big opportunity will come where I can come in as a consultant, or, I can do 2 things at the same time, or, just leave the door open. Then LinkedIn it's a beautiful world for business opportunities, because the main goal is for business opportunities, right? And then another action plan is to engage. To start, 30 minutes a day with your new connection. Like, comment, ask them a question, tell them to book a virtual call. Simple. I'd love to connect with you and get to know my LinkedIn connections off of LinkedIn and actually get to meet you. Are you open for a virtual coffee? Yes, great. Send them the link, like super easy. And this one is Jenny touched on, is share personal stories and your journey behind the scenes on your LinkedIn feed. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and real. Honestly, guys, 4 years in business, I connect the most with people when I share my story. Like, I come from Beirut. All my savings, they actually stole them. They literally took all my money away 2 weeks before, 2 weeks when I bought my website on GoDaddy. Like after 2 weeks, I lost my money for my business. I had to relocate to Barcelona, etc., etc. I'm not gonna go into that. You see that, you can see a bit of my story on LinkedIn and Instagram and email, but they're the most posts that people connect with, right? And people also like to connect with me when they know I do Muay Thai, they know I love cats, they know I love to travel to islands, they know I love the freedom, they know I love my Mondays. So we can connect on these different things, right? They tell me like, I've been there, I've also been to Thailand, why do you get into boxing? And then what inspired you to keep going? Like, I feel sorry for what you had to go through. They connect with that, right? Now we have a relationship. Like we established relationship and trust, and then we can build on that. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable and real. People appreciate that as long as you're genuine and authentic. So this is the end. You're going to get this beginner's guide to get started on LinkedIn. Okay, it will turn your profile into a sales generating machine. I promise you that, as long as you follow everything I shared today, everything Scott and Jenny shared today. But you start off with your LinkedIn profile. Like, that's the starting point, right? Before you create content, before you start DMs and conversation, you have to optimize your LinkedIn profile and start having genuine conversations with your newly connected leads without feeling icky or spammy. I do actually share with you 10 conversation starters in the end. You have that. So for anyone that was feeling stuck, like, what the hell do I tell people? You have those, and start signing clients consistently. So I think, Tatiana, I think you're here. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me share them with you. She will share it with you later as well, just for the people for the replays. Yes, perfect. You're so fast. Okay. And I want to also share with you my profile just so we can connect. So yeah, I guess Q&A, yes?
Are you ready? All right, so if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A section now, and then we'll just go ahead and get started. All right, so the first one from Nelson: how do you decide how much time to dedicate to creating a piece of LinkedIn content?
How much time to dedicate?
Yes.
I would start off slowly, to be honest, just so you don't get overwhelmed. So I would say just start off like 1 hour. So actually, two things. There's different ways of task batching, okay? I don't like to create content every day. So I find one day, once a week, or one day every 2 weeks, to sit down and do nothing else but content creation. And on that day, I sit down and create content. I can go to a coffee shop, to a hotel lobby, a very expensive hotel lobby, order a $10 cappuccino, and put on nice music, have all my content ideas and content bank. You know, you already have some ideas going. And on that day, you decide that you're going to create content. And there's no time limit. You go. Get those juices flowing. If you guys, I've been doing content for maybe now 3 years. On Monday, it took me 1 hour to write one email. But because it's been a while, I haven't wrote an email, and I really wanted to dive deep and make it a juicy email, right? And it took me 1 hour. But I know that one email will connect with my audience, will get them to do an action, will get them to book a call. And because I work smart and not harder, I take that content, that email, and we repurpose it. I don't think this is a content marketing class, but repurposing means taking that one email or that long form content, turning that into a reel, turning that into a carousel on Instagram, turning that into a LinkedIn newsletter. So I know that 1 hour just creates it for me for content post, right? So don't put a limit on yourself. It's all about like just actually being creative. I hope that answers that.
All right, so the next question: I understand that LinkedIn is for growing your network, but how do we avoid empty networking? Meaning someone connects with you, say a recruiter, and then immediately wants you to become a client. How can that unwanted selling feeling be avoided when connecting?
I'm reading it because it got complex. So meaning someone connects with us, they want you to become. Yeah, okay. So you're saying how to not immediately sell to someone when you connect with them. So that recruiter, I don't like that approach of that recruiter. And that's not what I teach you in any of my trainings or my content. I hate that. That's why I told you, really be honest when you connect with people. Like that connection message, when they connect with you, you told them I want to connect so I can grow my network, etc. then you want to start a conversation, because I want you to remember that these are people. So you shouldn't immediately directly start selling to them. You should start building a relationship. And you can do that several ways. You can go to their content, engage with their last post, see what they're talking about. Look at people that you have in common. Look if they went to a similar school. Look at who they follow, right? Look at their past experience. Maybe they worked somewhere you admire, somewhere you know. So there's something to build on. Guys, think about it. When you're connecting with someone, like there's no selling when you connect with someone. The selling comes later. The selling comes naturally, okay? So 2 ways. Either you connect with them, you thank them for connecting, and you're like, hey, I'd love to jump on a virtual call so we can actually meet. So then from there, you know, like you just have that real nice conversation. You actually get to introduce who you are, learn more about them, or you engage with their content, find something familiar or similar to connect with, and having a conversation. It's like going to a family barbecue. Your cousin brings his girlfriend, and then you're like, she's asking about you and you're asking about her, getting to know each other. But then you're going to have a follow-up question, right? So what is that follow-up question, right? So it has to come natural, right? I teach that with my clients, but just for the sake of this question, it's just try to be at the receiving end. If somebody connected with you, you don't know them, but now you know what they do, you accept to connect with them. How would you like to be approached? And start from there. I hope that helps.
All right, the next one's lengthy too. If you are simultaneously searching for jobs and launching your business, should you optimize your LinkedIn profile in the way described in your guide, or could that hinder a job search?
Yeah, that one is a bit tricky. It's good to like hustle, like have a business, consistent income. I'm all for that, and start a business. Guys, in the States, especially in the States, you guys respect hustling, and that it's normal to have another job. Like you guys literally invented side hustling. So people respect that. You can say you're looking for a job and say that you have that business and you've been running it for, you can fake it. You could say you've been running it for 6 months before that job that you have. If people will have a problem when they recruit you is because you're currently working in that business, then that's going to be that could be problematic for them. But that is a decision that you would have to make. Another way is to create a new LinkedIn profile. You can change a bit in your name, like you can add your second name and your first name, and that you can use that primarily for your business. That's also not a problem.
All right, I'm in the comment section because I think that we passed this question. Sue asked, what are your thoughts on using AI on LinkedIn?
Yes. So I use AI. So the only AI tool that I know recently I came about is, so LinkedIn has the AI to help you write a caption. It's like ChatGPT, so I guess you can go ahead and use it, especially if you're stuck and you're new. So I wouldn't mind using it to help you write caption, just to get the ball rolling, not to completely rely on it. Another tool that I know is called, it's a commenting AI, where it goes through different people's post and it acts like you to comment on them, and you give them prompts so you can guide it on how to comment. I haven't used it yet. I want to try to check it out. So that's about AI. That's the only knowledge I have about AI. I know about automation tools. Would that help if I answer that question about automation tools? I don't know if you're still here, but for automation tools, I've used several. Some are great. But some, if you exceed the limitation that the tool tells you, you can get temporarily disabled from LinkedIn, and that can permanently remove your LinkedIn profile. It has happened to me before because I was testing them out. There are tools that help you connect with people on autopilot. Like that's why it's an automation. Once you like plug in the right information, the right audience, the right message, and you respect the rules of each automation tool. There's another automation tool that I use, which is basically a commenting pod that was completely automated. That one was the scariest tool. That one would be like, it's very complex. I'm not going to go into it, but I used that, didn't get me any clients. It's made my posts look like they're going really viral and have high engagement. But honestly, like I'm real, I'm genuine. I didn't appreciate that. It looked really fake. And but that was a commenting, like a community pod that was using an automation tool. You could use them to help you, but I'd rather you get started manually, and then eventually you can use that to help you out. Yeah, that's my two thoughts on that. Automation, Tatiana, there's a post about the automation. Should I answer?
Yeah, it just says, do you have any automation for posting content?
Yes, so we don't so now with LinkedIn, you don't need an automation. You can schedule posts like maybe 30 days in advance. That's the only automation I use related to content. So you can use ChatGPT to help you with content ideas. I love using it for hooks. I give ChatGPT my email copy, my content, and like give me like 10 powerful, friendly hooks to attract, to grab attention, and they give me the hook. So I use that, and I auto schedule all my posts for weeks in advance. And now, you know, Scott was telling you can schedule polls, which is amazing, and that way it's publishing on its own. So it removes the heavy lifting. I hope that answered that.
I'm going to jump over to Facebook quick. There was a question. Should I post personal stuff?
Yes. Before LinkedIn, nobody used to post personal stuff. It was like, here's what my company is doing, super boring stuff, infographics and all that. But now people love to read those stories. Like people like to see you with your hubby on a hike, or you with your dog, just like Instagram, but there's depth to the content. Like the other day I saw a big viral content post about this lady, her child was sick. She was talking about the medical care, like healthcare in the UK or something like that. And she posted it on LinkedIn. Now, maybe did she have a business or was she working in a company? But that post about her kid and what they went through and the struggles and the amount of people supporting her was amazing. And she's on LinkedIn, right? So she's working for someone or she's a business owner. People connect with stories. Like we were saying, like I learned this the other day because I was doing this other presentation. Marketing is really about attracting the right people to you, right? So how do we attract the right people to us? Think about it like this. What is the most common thing between people? It's mainly stories. Like the most common thing between us that we all share are stories. So if you create stories, or if you share your story or your ideal client's stories, you're connecting and attracting the people that connect with that story. And how does it connect to you? It's because it's probably them, or a feeling they went through, or someone in their family went through, right? So share your story, be vulnerable. Don't just share your coffee walking out. Like there's depth to that story.